Okay, well, welcome to the special Mercury retrograde Angelic Summit edition of the Alexandra Wenman show, which was meant to be filmed live via Facebook, but we've resorted to Zoom after 3 attempts to go live on Facebook. And I just want to welcome my very special guest here, Stephanie Lodge, who is the Hug Angel, and this woman is so amazing. And I just want to invite Stephanie to give us the lowdown on herself and how she got started working with the angels and all her beautiful work. So over to you, my darling. Can you let our wonderful viewers know a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me and us attempting all these different attempts. We're just like, we're going to keep doing this. We're going to make this happen one way or the other.
We won't be dissuaded.
So, okay. So the interesting thing with me and what I like to say to people is I didn't have a near-death experience. I didn't get struck by lightning or have some powerful aha moment in terms of my connection to angels. I was a gradual recipient of the angelic light, I guess you could say. And what I mean by that is I came in very energetically sensitive. Like my mother likes to say, she was chanting. She was a Buddhist at the time, and she was chanting literally while I came out of her. So I came into bodhisattva, and she was chanting Buddhist the whole pregnancy, and so very high vibration at the time that I was coming into the planet. So I started already aligned to frequency in that way. And so I'm grateful to her, and I bless that. My awakening started happening in 2006 when I went in for a special type of session called, what was it? Quantum biofeedback. And the woman there, her name was Nicole, beautiful soul. She said, I know this isn't why you came in to see me, but I need you to know there's 3 angels standing in the room, and they have a message for you. Are you open to that? At the time, I was selling private jets. I worked in the entertainment industry prior to that and living my normal life, and everything was kind of just going along. And that she said there were these 3 angels kind of, pay attention. So I said, sure, absolutely. And I was very open. My mother kept me very open. She was very open to all of the metaphysical. So she said, well, Archangel Michael's here with the message first, and he wants you to know that you're one of his girls, and that you will be working with the angels in due time, but not yet because you're not ready. And he knows if you told him what you were going to be doing, you would try to go do it tomorrow, and you can't do that. So he just wants you to know to get prepared. And I didn't really know what to make of it, I'll be honest. I went home. I spoke to my friend who also, interestingly, turned out to see angels. She could see angels. She was clairvoyant and hadn't really shared much about it with me until I told her the story. And she said, oh, thank God, yes, well, yeah, he's been standing in the apartment this whole time. So she started sharing with me more about angels. And then I had this heart opening happen where I just started sobbing because there was almost like this activation or recollection of, yes, I resonate with that. And it's true for me. And then for the next 3 years, the best way to say it is I got stalked by angels. And, they would come as books flying off shelves, other signs coming in, other people seeing angels around me, somebody saying there's an angel stepping into your body, I see it, and just really magical, mystical, tour of the angel realms through the experiences I would have through other clairvoyants and mediums and people like that. Eventually, I started getting downloads in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. wake-up calls, as we like to call them. And I would get all sorts of information that was really random information, some of it, quantum physics kind of information, just really weird stuff. And yet something told me to pay attention and write it down and start to just automatically write what I was receiving. And eventually I got tired of writing, so then I would voice record. The next thing I knew, I was streaming or what many would call playing messages from angels. So it was kind of a gradual ocean. In 2009, Angelic Light Stream, the terminology of light came in. From there, that led me to an understanding of the holy stream of light out of the Essene Gospel. Google led me to, or God-Goal, as I like to jokingly call it. And the angels often would tell me things if I didn't understand, they'd say, go Google it. Because they wanted me to have kind of a remembrance and a validation that they were like a little breadcrumb, but like, go find the look. right? So for me, it was just a matter of time before I started to get that validation, started to really believe that there was this intelligent communication system communicating with me. And they said to me, you are going to be bringing forth messages that are going to elevate the overall understanding of what angels are on earth. And yes, of course, there's the beings, but there's also an overall stream of consciousness that you can integrate and embody. And the importance of this is to awaken angels on the planet, to remind them who they really are, to liberate them from their fallen aspects that still believe that they are less than what they really are, and to essentially elevate the whole planet, the collective of that. So there was a mission pretty early on, and there's a divine unfoldment of that. So here we are now in 2019, almost 2020, and it wasn't until 2013 that I stepped out of the spiritual closet with Charles Virtue was there, Jane's son, and it was here in LA at Conscious Life Expo, and I did the first Angel Summits basically back to back 2 years in a row. And then it was time to kind of pull that back and go into another direction. So my work has taken a lot of twists and turns in terms of how I work with people, how I work on the grids. I anchor light into the planet, and I bring actually the frequency of faith and the frequency of empowerment, specifically for people to feel confident in stepping forward in their own divinity, their own connection to their angelic nature, their angelic soul, and to light them up, give them that power to say, you know what, I'm not going to hide in the closet anymore. It's time for me to be seen and heard, and I have a message for the planet. And that's really what's culminating in 2020, which you're part of course, called Angelic Summit. So that's what's coming, and it's very exciting. And those of you like yourself who've been on the front lines and angelic light fearlessly, I'm really showcasing them. And that's my job now, is just united as a legion. We're coming to say it's time. It's time to step out fully and not be ashamed or, think woo-woo is a bad word, or, really come
Yes.
This is normal. This is the new normal. And that's really what I'm here to ambassador and be an emissary for, as the light legions around us in the invisible, but also those of us on the planet who are saying, yes, we are that consciousness, and we're here. So
That is it, isn't it? I love it. I just love that, it's almost like we've properly been connected now, you and I as well. And so much of the work we're doing is quite similar, but in different ways of doing it. I love that you're getting really similar information to what I've been given my whole life as well. It's like here to help the angelic souls and help people step into their angelic nature. For people watching, how in your opinion, can people know if they are, I guess, an angelic soul or a starseed, or, I guess in a lot of this work, it's kind of levels of consciousness in a way, isn't it? But how can people know if that's sort of part of their path, or if that's part of their calling?
Well, for many, they know because they're going to feel completely different than most people on this planet. They're not going to buy into the normal programs of belief, if you will. They're going to have connection to the invisible realms. They're going to see things, see orbs of light, see holographic kind of undulations or waveforms of light, or they perhaps see actual beings, right? They're going to have a sight of some kind, or they might know that there's something there. They might sense that there's something in the room, and they might be able to feel communication telepathically. So there's going to usually be something turned on to get their attention at some point, or they have a feeling or a sense that there's a mission, that they have a purpose and a message, and it's important, and there almost is this inner urgency and desire to get that message out into the world. They're not just going to the 9-to-5 job and being satisfied with that. They're not just satisfied with the normal, I'm going to go run my errands and raise my kids. There's something else, kind of that wiggly feeling, as I say, that's spurring them on to know more about where they come from, what their soul is. What is the soul? Where does it originate from? They're asking those kind of questions. And over time, that divine unfoldment, I find, is a series of experiments of engaging with the source field or God, goddess consciousness, and seeing what responds. You know, we kind of throw a softball, like what comes back, you know, and we find this engagement oftentimes with those who have a sensitivity of some kind. And then as far as whether they are angelic starseed or angelics in human form, normally they're going to be people who people say, oh, you're such an angel, or they're going to be people who have an emanation of light around them and people see that light. They're going to be very magnetic to people, have usually a nature where they want to speak on stages or be speakers or teachers and share messaging, as I mentioned. They tend to also have gifts of healing and wanting to assist people vibrationally, working with energy as healing. So there's a lot of variations, I believe, at how angels or angles of source divine consciousness show up through us, right? And I could say we all have the potentiality to elevate into those levels of consciousness. It's just some of us come in kind of predisposed, or we got the software early, right? We came as a Mac for
yeah,
loaded, right? And others will work out longer, but it's just all variations of what is at our core, what do we remember, and then what kind of junk mail have we accumulated that we're shedding and purging and letting go of, right? Those are the layers that are holding us back, dimming our light, as I like to say. And to me, when I recognize people, there's a resonance, a vibration usually. I can recognize people that are really vibrating at certain frequencies, that they are coming in with that angelic alignment, you could say. And also, I would say there's graduated levels of it. So for me, I know when I started this, I worked with Archangel Michael. Michael was my core kind of soul print, and that was the vibration and the eminence that was coming through me as a transmission. That also aligns to a lot of the Christ consciousness and the Magdalene order, which is going to bring us into this understanding of what got seeded almost 2,000 or over 2,000 years ago, right, is now being sprouted in a new way and rebirth. And so that's that Michael order as well. So it's very interesting how everybody has kind of a different mission, a different lane, and they're all going to be either focused on bringing frequency vibration in as light, as message, as information, or the sound, the melodic, the harmonic, the hertz and the frequencies that are aligning certain levels of our DNA through sound and transforming it and awakening it. So I don't know if I got up on too much. I want to pause and kind of go back to you.
No, Carrie, I love it. It's like, I'm like, oh, this is great. She's like, but I get it. I kind of get the same information that there are people on the planet currently who are basically really, really ancient souls, really ancient wise souls who've maybe done quite a few rounds of soul cycles and, lived through kind of many past lives, both on earth and beyond, worked through a lot of their karma already and almost have chosen to come back at this time and go through yet another soul cycle. But in clearing our own personal kind of karma, we're doing more than that. We're kind of clearing for the collective, clearing through the ancestral lines, clearing the genetic lines. And I know that a lot of people watching this are going to be those souls just like you and I. And one thing I really want to acknowledge is, a lot of the misconceptions about angels and angelic energy is that it's just light, fluffy rainbows and unicorns, but actually it's a pretty difficult path to walk, right? It's you do get put through your paces. And my experience of embodying angelic energy, in that, like yourself, I've had them step into me. I've experienced huge and fully embodied the whole Kundalini awakening visions, which has been a very physical and otherworldly experience. And to me, it's beautiful and it's love, but it's pure power. It's a force. It's an unstoppable force. And so I think that the thing is, like, you think that maybe by harnessing angels or working with angels, you're not making a difference. But actually, this is the building blocks of creation. We're harnessing mathematics, quantum physics, pure power, and pure creation energy. So it's unbelievable, and it's and the time is now. It's incredible. So what an exciting time that we're on the planet at the
You know,
moment.
I want to speak to that, the shadow side of angelic work, because, in fact, my brother, Jason Michael Powers, is also in our summit with us, with his beautiful wife, Heather Grace. We were just speaking to this actually the other day in a private call, where a lot of people don't understand the difficulty sometimes of the awakening process and what I would call harmonic alignment, light optimization, or halo. I teach something called the halo method specifically for people who are going through their awakening process and having a lot of distortions come up, a lot of fear come up, suicidal thoughts come up, inflammation in the body. What I suffered through in my awakening journey literally was huge amounts of energy coming into the point where it is a living light radiation of divine source. I didn't understand that, and it was inflaming my nervous system, and I would be on the floor, unable to walk at times, because I was bringing in that power you're speaking to and not regulating it properly and not quite ready for it, and was inviting in power that it blew out my suit, essentially, right? And so I suffered a lot through my process until I learned how to regulate that and calibrate it, because I was working with ultraviolet, which is the first invisible spectrum, which is really intense. It also reveals, it's the energy that reveals a lot of the shadow aspect, opens up and awakens, but you use it sparingly. Well, I wasn't. I was like, bring it on. And so for me, it was really intense, because then Violet wanted to come in too. And Zakiel, holding the violet ray or the violet light for me, said, I want you to be an emissary, because you're balancing now the violet and ultraviolet, and you can assist groups now. Alchemist. I went, oh, okay. So it's a process, and we can't rush it. People want to jump cut to the end. And what I find is it's all about the integration into our humanness, and really honoring our human nature and our human body. And I think many who are angels or resonate with that idea of being an angelic in human form, they don't honor the body oftentimes. They don't know how to manage the body. They resent the body. They're angry that they're in a body, because subconsciously, the higher conscious, there is no body, right? So the fact that we're stuffed into these suits, and I demanded a 6'2" one. I said, I need more room. But
I was supposed to have a 6'2" one. I feel like I should be taller with longer legs. Like, this is not fair. I got this little.
You get the order.
I think I chose the midget body.
Well, it's an interesting thing, because for me, I know that our job really is to hold as much light as we can. And I just said, well, then you give me a bigger vehicle to hold it more light, because this is a lot of light you want me to hold. And so I make a joke about it. But truthfully, it is about anchoring light. That's the main mission of angels, is how much light can you bring into your body? How much can you hold, and how much can you anchor into the planet for all humanity, right? And that's the main, I would say, archangelic mission. When one comes into their archangelic nature, it's because their arcs or their chakras are all linked together to hold a broader spectrum. When I started, I was channeling or streaming maybe 2 to 3 bandwidths. Now I can do 12, right? So we come into this other level of co-creative expression, as you say, the power of light, that comes in. And eventually then the seraphim frequencies, which are really the architectural frequencies of creation. So it's this evolution even at the angelic level that people don't always understand. They just think they're always one type of angel necessarily, and that's not necessarily the case. It depends on what they are here to do, what their mission is, what their purpose is, and how they're elevating consciousness and all the rest. So I do find, for me, it's been quite the journey. I have been able to access the seraphim and really anchor that as well now at this point. And I don't do it often because it is intense, but I call in the seraphim frequencies, dragon tribes, if you will, to surround and protect, because there is a lot of different forces right now at play. And so I invite those who are on this path to really consider opening themselves up even beyond just your traditional angels, which can be very nice and warm and fuzzy, so to speak, for us, right? But also these powerful angelics that are here to support us now as we move into these next decades. It's going to be very important to call them in. And I bring them around me every night before I go to bed, and to really make sure I'm shielded up, just because there's a lot of static running around, and we can see it in our political spectrums. We can see it all over the planet, just all sorts of chaos. So it's important to maintain your sovereign field, your sovereign state. So I invite everyone to consider.
Oh, I love it. And, some of these higher vibration angels, it can come across as almost fierce, can't they? It's really like, some of them are very like almost dragon-like, some of them, in the fire that they bring and the power that they bring. It's fantastic. I feel like we need to talk a little bit about 2020 and what's coming up, because it feels very much like I just keep being shown the Wheel of Fortune and like this turning of the dial and the compass and like a clock striking 12. It's like the reset, isn't it? Like we had the end of Mayan calendar. We've been through this almost gateway, 7-year gateway, almost like a hiatus in many ways, but it hasn't been. It's been like a shedding and a realigning. Now it feels like this huge big door is about to go whoom, and open up. Tell us in your words, honey, what's your take on it? What's happening? Because of course the summit's happening all around this powerful portal, so it's so exciting.
Well, as you just even asked the question, my guides just came in my body and I got lit up like a Christmas tree. So here we go. So first and foremost, 2012 gate was really about the beginning stages of birthing Violet Earth. Violet Earth is what we might almost call violent, if you add the N, in the sense of purging and revealing and releasing all the static distortion energies, things that have been hidden from us. So this is why we're seeing the rise of people waking up to all sorts of different things, Mandela effect and more slavery on the planet than ever before, and things happening to children, all sorts of corruption and everything else that can no longer be hidden from view. Everything has to be revealed for us to say yes or no to. Everything has to show itself that this is working for you, this isn't working for you. So we get to make choices now consciously as a collective, and what people will stand for and what they won't. This is why we see the whole Me Too movement with women. This is the rise of the feminine saying, hey, there's been a huge imbalance, we got to bring that balance in. So all of these things have been in place since 2012 specifically up till now to birth forward. And it's like Lamaze breathing at times, right? And these waves come in and it's like a contraction, literally. The waves that come in, they are magnetic and photonic. What I mean by that is the magnetosphere is getting squeezed because of certain planet and star systems surrounding our galaxy pulling on our magnetic field. Our magnetosphere then heats up and creates friction. This is part of what's causing global warming. It's not so much just the solar. In fact, a lot of people don't even believe the sun gives off any heat. I know that sounds crazy, but it's more light than heat. So we can look at all of these things as what we know, and then we can completely go, oh, maybe we know something else. And this is what we're going through right now. Photons, though, the light frequencies, regardless, are also hitting us in massive waves, lighting up our DNA, lighting up our light bodies, literally, and moving us up into a different frequency of vibration. This is why we're seeing more support from the sound of solfeggio, binaural, brain entrainment, and so forth to assist our bodies in recalibrating as these waves continue to come in. They're not going to stop. We'd like to say they're going to stop. No. It's just how well are we going to align, harmonize, how quickly we're going to adjust, what is our bounce rate back to normal, and that is a practice. That is like going to the gym every day. You got to work your light every day, and that's what I teach people to do, is really understand this process, right? So what's coming now, as we move from 19 into 20, we're moving into the 2s, right? The 20s, partnership, collaboration, no more gurus and one light leader, more collaboratives. And also really understanding that we're all one, the oneness, the law of one frequency coming in even more, so that we can understand we're not alone ever. There's no potentiality to be alone, whether you're thinking about what surrounds you energetically or whether you have family, friends around you. There's still a sense of knowing we are supported and we are part of a whole entire collective, and we're all in this together. So that's what's kind of coming in for 2020, is this collaboration, and that's why the summit was born. Now, the interesting thing about the summit is we started on the 111. That day is a tower day. That is a change agent day. That's like, boom, let's go. And then every day thereafter is going to be evolving us through different teachers that are going to come in with their inspiration and culminating in 118, right, which is still a 1 day, right? It's the beginning if you take the 1 and the 8 and 1, 9 and 9 and 1 is a 1. So it's all a 1, right, with the 2. So 122. So we can look at all the codes in that. But the point is, that's about elevating Diamond Earth. And Diamond Earth now, coming into the 2020 portal gateway, is really now the emergence one of Diamond Earth. So the importance of this is this. What do we want to create as our new planetary consciousness? Are we continue to hold the conditions that we're currently seeing as having to stay in the holographic projection of life? Or are we going to release some of the things, the majority of them perhaps, and allow this earth to go into its more evolved, liberated, and elevated state? And hold that frequency of consciousness as a collective, and only hold that frequency of what we're looking at, right? And no matter what the feedback loop is, even if those conditions are still kind of falling away, knowing, oh, even though I'm seeing that, I'm seeing past that, and I'm seeing into the diamond version of this. Because that's really our responsibility now. For those of us who know better, it is our responsibility to own our identity and to do better in that regard, to think better, to align better, to raise our vibration of consciousness and hold that high watch. So that's what I know is coming in for 2020, is all of us banding together, finding the common thread, finding the commonality of, okay, so this is really what can come forward, and holding the high watch for that. As other people might be running around in chaos going, what's, sky's falling, chicken littling. We're like, we got this. So,
Yeah.
okay. And that's really what I feel is the urgency now is any of us who are these light leaders, whatever our traumas are, whatever our child woundings still are, whatever our core issues are, they're coming up going, get rid of them now. Purge now.
Oh my God, it's layer by layer by layer. It's quick. It's amazing.
Right? Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah.
Seize the moment. Seize these next few weeks to really clear out your spiritual closet. If there's junk folders, mail in there, like get it out. And your environment too. If there's a lot of clutter, same difference. Just purging is really the name of the game right now, while you still have advantage of the violet to assist you. Because now we're going to go in diamond. Diamond, what I mean by that, just to be clear for everybody, is the multidimensional facets, the multidimensional potentialities of our planet. This means it's not just a 5D Earth. It's not a location you're going to arrive to 5 and go, I'm here, I'm good. No, it's 5 and more. It's like you get to that vibration and then to which octave are you operating at? And that's going to be illustrating how your life is going to unfold. And it's an opportunity for everybody. So there's no limitations. It's all potential. And everybody has an opportunity in every moment to decide, I'm operating at this frequency. I'm no longer tolerating this lower vibration anymore. And that's really the decision we're all at, the decision point.
I need to tell people one thing. It's amazing. And the way that you put that as well, you're blowing my mind. The energy coming through me right now. I was like, any wonder we had interference. It was like, this is important conversation. But I need to tell our viewers that, I was on how I found out about Stephanie's summit. Stephanie and I've met, 2017, I think it was, wasn't it, at Conscious Life? And how I found out about the summit was I was literally on Instagram and just saw this thing about an Angelic Summit pop up. And I didn't even know it was you running it, did I? And I was like, oh, I need to be part of this. And it was just like every cell in my body went, contact these people. You need to be part of this. It's here. It's now. And it felt so important. And I think at that point, you'd only posted one picture on the Instagram account. It was like, and I was like, oh, but the energy of it and the frequency that you're holding, and it's a safe and sacred space. And it is like, I feel like you are being like a watchtower. It's absolutely incredible. So for people tuning into the summit, can you tell us a little bit about what other guests, obviously I'm on there, but what other guests that you're having on there, and sort of what sort of topics are coming up and what people can expect?
So just to backtrack just a moment, because they're reminding me to share one thing I didn't answer, which was, what is the hug angel part of my life? So people can differentiate a little bit. The hug angel for me is harmonizing our hearts, right, with universal grace, or hearts united in grace. That kind of is interchangeable. And so that's the hug acronym. And the idea is we are here to connect. And so I'm bringing people who I've been connected to for many years perhaps, as well as people who I harmonize with and just feel their frequency and their hearts are open and receptive to connect with others. I'm going to be super honest with you. There are a lot of light leaders that are still really locked in the ego aspects.
Yes.
You have to be and special, and they're the only one, and they're the only message, and they want to be the next messiah, and they're still programming out spiritual narcissism, and it's fine. You know, it's just part of the path. We all go through it. There's no judgment in that. But for me, what I got really clear with is to do my best to bring forth those who really have this pure intention of bringing the angels forward in such a palpable way, a visceral way, an experiential way. And so all of those that are brought together, not all of them are well known. You know, some of them are sort of well known, others really well known. It's kind of everything in between. It had to do with just who I was guided to and said yes to. And I would just say that the people who I've gathered, and there will be others, have been really inclined to just say yes, just count me in. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of hesitation there, right? There might have been some questions, what is it? But, you know. So we have Theo, who is channeled by Sheila Gillette. And for those of you who don't know her, she's a beautiful soul sister in the sense of just holding that Christ-like light, the Michael energy as well. But really more importantly, she was the mentor to Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, because she was really the only one around doing what Esther was starting to open up to, and she was the only one to guide her. And when Sheila came online, all this, it was 1967, that experience, she had nobody to guide her. So she's really a pioneer space, channeling at this level, and channeling specifically angelic frequencies. I know there's been others like Seth and others that might have channeled, but really specific counsel, like she holds powerfully. And she's still at what's called a trance channel, which means she steps out of the way, she's present and witness, but some other connection comes through her, and you feel it palpably. The first time I just walked into a room, they came in and I literally started crying because the energy of love was so overwhelming from the angels. Mm-hmm. So she's going to be coming in. Theo's going to be taking our questions live. That's going to be really powerful to have her and her husband Marcus facilitating that as well. And our mutual friend Stuart Pierce, who connects to the angels is going to be sharing his story. And, you know, as a alchemist of sound, a voice alchemist, and he had so much connection to, you know, being out in the world and being well seen as this voice alchemist, as this master of voice and this voice teacher, and to suddenly get, you know, sideswiped by the angels, as I like to say. You know,
he did, didn't he?
He'll be sharing his story and how that happened, but really holding that space of that masculine frequency, holding the space of the angels, you know, in such a palpable way, and beautiful intention, you know, and the eloquence of who he is really fascinating.
Oh, the voice. I mean, the voice. I called him the Sultan of Sound. It's when when I first met him, it was like Sultan of Sound.
I know. And we also have Sandra Biskind, who, as an Oz, right, fellow Aussie, so she's beautiful channel of the ancients, right? Mm-hmm. And she also went through a very powerful near-death experience to then get plugged into the fire wire, as I like to say. And so she'll be sharing her experience, and she works now as a quantum healer and with her husband Daniel. But there's this other side to her, you know. Marcy Locke is another one that just recently came on, and she hasn't even gotten up on the website yet. She's new, but she's coming in as an alchemist of light as well, and she's known as a $1 Million Mentor. She's been, you know, coaching all sorts of Forbes 500 people, but now she's really stepping in to bringing in the light and the angels and all of it into her work. So I commend her for being that bridge. Grace Kavanaugh, Isabel Van Valois from Germany, she's coming in. Open, who's a beautiful man out of the UK. He's going to really be talking about the 5D shift, you know, which is I call the Diamond Earth Factor. But he's going to be opening. And then who else? Trisha McCannon, her wisdom teachings. I mean, she's just a master of the mysteries, the mystery teachings of so much. She knows so much about this planet and what it's been through. And of course, she wrote a beautiful book called The Origins of the Angelic Soul, I believe, and that's going to be part of her lane for the summit, is kind of focusing in on the angel mysteries and teachings. And my friend, the beautiful Camille Michaels, she'll be sharing she's just newly coming on board and sharing the Delphic Oracle elements of her to the angels. And of course, Jason, Michael, and Heather Grace Powers, who I mentioned earlier, they're coming in as the powers of love. And so they'll be coming in with a lot of communication of how we stay in sacred partnership as power couples in this lane, right? Of people who are coming with this connection to angels and spirit and the Christ consciousness and all of that, and holding our sovereignty, holding our interdependence. And also Tina Marie and Billy Joseph, they're coming in with a similar messaging of sacred relationship and friends of yours. And New York and anchored down in the East Coast energy. And so it's a nice collaboration, you know, of different people coming in and sharing their life, you know, and really that frequency of different angel angles is so important, the different facets, you know, such as yourself and mine, and everybody coming together to hold potentiality for everybody to say, you know what, I resonate with that message and that. That's a little bit more for me. That, you know, and then finding the right lane and saying that I can plug in. That feels good to me. That's my resonance. And as a collective, we're just bringing what we know and what we can share as our wisdom together as a collaboration. And that's the power of the Legion. I kind of say it's the blowtorch effect versus being the single candle going, I'm out here. You know, it's like, out here.
Yeah. We just light the fire, light the whole fire.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, don't you think it's interesting that
I apologize off the top. I mean, I know that there's 12 and me plus for the 13th holding the container, but I feel like there could be somebody I'm forgetting off the top of my head, and I want to apologize to them right now if I forgot their name, but I think I got everybody.
Forgotten them. But what I'll do is I'll share all the links. When I pop this up on YouTube, I'll share all the links below so people can read up about who's on the summit, who's taking part, how to sign up, how to be part of it, and part of the community as well. It's going to be beautiful. I think it feels a little bit, I think there's an interesting correlation between how much of our planet is currently physically on fire and then the movement into this. It's like an angelic fire that's coming through. I feel like it's such a part of the final purging, isn't it? This whole burning and flooding that's going on at the moment.
This is the violet flame I keep talking to, is the violet earth factor, is a fiery factor. The planet is burning, there's no question. When we look at California here where I am, it's Kali country. Kali is, you know, that energy that really can destroy things too, right? But I would say we're also looking at the magma flow, the lava flow, which is also the fire underneath the surface. That would be more like the ultraviolet that's releasing certain grid systems out of the planet at certain levels. And I would say the Lamaze is the earthquakes of just like contractions, right? And needing to like Lamaze breathe through. And I like to kind of say it in those ways of really looking at our planet as a being in her own right, Gaia, right? We're cells in that, but she's the macro. And so she's going through a lot. I mean, absolutely. And her oceans are going through a lot. Her emotional body is going through a lot. You're also looking at just the fires in Africa and the Amazon and, of course, Australia. These are all really heavy grid systems that need to purge and release old karma and old energies and the systems of the trees themselves. I want you guys to kind of think of it as we are dismantling the old fiber optic network and putting up a whole new level of connection with even the trees. You know, the trees as elemental forces on the planet have to get new upgrades too. So we can look at it as like, oh, the poor Amazon, and get all upset for the animals and get all upset for everything that's being, you know, taken out essentially of the system. But what I want to say is, yes, that's the violet earth falling away to make room for the new diamond version. So it's part of the process. It's not always comfortable, just like we go through our flus and it's not comfortable, but it's purging and cleansing the system sometimes. It's kind of Gaia's way of going through her own version of a flu, you know, high-grade fevers and so forth, the vomiting, all the other stuff that can come with a heavy-duty one. That's the earthquakes, that's the volcanoes, that's all storming. That's her version of emotional release. And as long as we hold reverence for that, you know, and our collective, you know, interconnectedness, entanglement with that. I feel things all the time when she's going through stuff. I feel things. I get called into certain areas of the planet to hold space that I don't even live in. You know, I'll go to Hawaii, I had one situation where I had ice come in of all things. And she said, we need you to go to Hawaii right now. I said, why? She said, we need you to bring emerald light, I should say, into the volcano to mitigate some of it. I'm like, okay. So I was available. They called me. I was in the shower. It was crazy, and I was in a hurry. And I was like, really? Right now? Okay. So I did that. I brought in this emerald light. And literally there was an earthquake, a 6.9 earthquake, only about an hour or two later. I'm like, guys, thought I was helping. And they said, no, you did. It would have been an 8. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I want to share too, Alexandra, really interesting, to really get clear for people, when you're traveling through these dimensional shifts, pay attention to your eyes and your vision. For me, I noticed I'll get blurry vision sometimes in the morning, and I can't see the normal computer screen, my phone, like certain things. And then I'll go out in the world, and other things will come in crystal clear. And I had this experience just last week where I was driving. The license plates in front of me, just standard license plate, totally blurry. A license plate by, and it said 144, which is an angel code for me, totally clear. I thought, oh, it's because it's over in the other lane. Oh, no. It got in front of me, right in front of me, totally crystal clear. Then it moved away, still crystal clear, way up ahead. Another car came in, blurry again, but it didn't have a number. Another car came in, it was 22, had the number, it was crystal clear. And I went, angels, what's going on here? They said, we want to show you the very specific differentiation between the diamond frequency of intention or consciousness and non-diamond, so that you can see how different, like nuances of essence, just subtle vibrational difference. And because you acknowledge those numbers as being sacred in a sense, you're seeing into that vibration. So they wanted me to see the difference of the vibration, how like layered on top of each other. It's not like we're going to go up to another planetary system that's like miles away. It's right here. It's just, are we vibrating this way? And it's very subtle. So I'm just bringing that kind of as an example of that.
It's amazing you're saying that, because I've been having so many shifts in what I'm able to see clairvoyantly. I mean, I'm super crazy clairvoyant. It's so visual, but now it's becoming way more physical, way more physical. And it often is, it's like CGI when I see like spirit or energies or beings around me, even to the point where it's like I could be looking at a flower and I will see literally flower in 3D. Lots just going on with my eyes at the moment. I'm wearing my glasses today. I'm very studious today. I don't normally wear my glasses, but I've had, like you say, like my eyes are super tired, but then at the same time, my inner sight is going technicolor. I mean, it's so beautiful, amazing what I'm seeing, and so many feathers and wings around at the moment. The light is really flooding back in, and your background that you have actually is kind of like what I've been seeing lately. Lots of light, lots of orbs, lots of color, and that's that diamond pearlescent kind of spectrum is so stunning. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's just beautiful. It really feels like I think so many people, especially so many light workers and angelics, have been through a very kind of dense time, very compacted, dense time since 2012. And now it feels like that is, for a lot of people, a lot of way showers, that's starting to lift and we're coming out the other side. And then we'll be able to turn around and sort of give others a leg up as they start to come through the veil. Because as you know, once you awaken, you cannot go back to sleep, can you?
Right. And what I'll say to this is I'm seeing two different situations happening for people. Either people are, or let's agree, either people are really finding this wave coming in and supporting them, and they're getting all sorts of work and support and clients and shifts and opportunities, and all their heavy lifting early on is now paying off, and they're already getting into that frame. Others have been ignoring perhaps a deep rooted fear or something still in the system that they haven't been dealing with. So that's coming up as like red alert, trauma, drama, like hugely going, you got to take care of this now, right? So my invitation is don't ignore it. Take care of it as best as you can, and it might not fully resolve by the end of the year, but you want to start to set intention to resolve it. And if that means getting into hypnotherapy, if that means getting certain business things on the 3D level in order, whatever it is, take care of it. And others are kind of they're not necessarily getting that huge push yet, but things are getting prepared. So they have to plant their seeds. They're getting hits of inspiration, writing things down, planting the seeds in this year for next year. This is kind of what happened with me with the summit, right? And so I just got another day for a future. Really? Like, I have time for that, but okay. So it's just planting the seeds. So for the future, it's already set intention into this frequency specifically for whatever reason. I don't know that I know why exactly that is, but I know it is. And what I would also say is, in that, trusting is coming up, the faith frequency, which is really, no matter what is occurring, if people are hitting rock bottom financially, if people are hitting rock bottom in terms of their exhaustion, like, Stephanie, that's not me, I'm so burned out, I've been working so hard, nothing is shifting, still in this energy of feeling acted upon. Mm-hmm. It is time to let go of the victim. Mm-hmm. It is time to let go of the martyr fully. There's no sacrificing of self for others anymore. So all of that is still going to be burdening you and riding heavy on you if you haven't gotten that memo yet to say, I'm not going to be the victim anymore. Because we're not a victim. We are all the source. The only ways we can say we're a victim of any outside circumstance is believing still in separation from that. There is no separation. So it's still, of course, the human nature to feel a little separate and feel like, oh, this is happening, you know, and that's part of the video game. We play the game. But it's important to go into that observer angel angle also and go, oh, that's right, I know who I am. I'm just, yes, this is happening, okay, but not so seriously. This is why the angels brought in the hug angel, because it's stuff, throw on some wings and go out there, hug people. You need to get into your joy more. You need to get into the lightness more. You're so serious as a teacher. You get so serious about these things. You need to have fun. I said, I am serious. Okay, I get it. You know, so that's how I balance it out. Because when I'm in teacher mode like this, you know, I have a seriousness, because there is a certain authority of grace that I like to impart to people, like, hey, yes, we're in grace. We're in alignment with angels, and they will kick your butt. They will spank you a little bit if you don't, get into alignment. They're going to help you, and sometimes not in the kindest, loving way it feels, but it is. But
yeah, they'll boot you in the butt, all right, won't they?
Slapping can happen. So anyway, so that's the thing, is the balance of love, the balance of fun, the balance of joy. I know for myself, this is a main struggle for me, getting out of nature more, not getting too caught up in the work. And it's something I work at all the time. As a human angel, that's what I do, you know. So I just want to invite everybody to know we're all in this together. We all have our human moments. We all have our points of, different distortion, I guess you could say, but we're all walking each other or flying each other home and helping each other understand who we are in reflection. And through the constant reflection of each other, we see, wow, look at Alexandra getting her God out, getting her goddess out, getting her angel out. That's awesome, and celebrating you. And looking over here, and seeing everybody doing their part and celebrating that. And if people are still coming from a place of envy and jealousy, and I wish that was me, they're still operating at, the poor, pitiful victim consciousness is somewhere operating in there. And their need to feel special is still the narcissist trapped in there. And one thing I learned, by the way, I want to share really quick is, a lot of times people will say, I'm an empath attracting a narcissist.
Yes.
Attracting narcissist. Why are you narcissist? Because you might have been raised by a narcissist and you had to align to their frequency to survive. Get your inner narcissist out and you will find quickly you won't attract narcissists. So this is something that a lot of teachers have been putting out, the empath narcissist thing. I want to course correct that. Get everybody on the bus and guys, take accountability. You have some narcissists going on, get it out. And it's going to be deep in the sub usually, and it's going to possibly be attached to what we might call your fallen angel aspect, what you believe is your fallen version, the part you still feel, I abused my power, I did something bad with my light. There's a connection to that without getting too deep in that lesson. But anyway, they just said, throw that out there for somebody watching.
It's important actually, and it really it does resonate with me, because when was it? It was recent. I've got totally mirror magnifying glass in at myself, and I guess this is the ongoing work, and if you're doing the work, you've got to look deep into your subconscious and get real with yourself. And I still surprise sometimes. And it did. It came up something similar, a pattern to do with my family. And it was like, wow, I just looked at myself and I was looking at this pattern and I was like, oh my God, that is a form of emotional manipulation. I'm seeing it in myself. And it was really like, it's like, get real with yourself. Don't judge yourself for it, but get real with yourself, because some of this stuff can be so varied and so subtle and so subliminal that you don't even know that you're doing it until you really get real with yourself and really look in the mirror at why you're attracting certain things. And digging back into the ancestry, into the past lives, into the childhood. Go for it, because we can all get there, and it's just holding those parts of us in love. Really, really interesting. Interesting, and I'm so glad you mentioned it, because it's really, really important work, and it's beautiful work.
Yeah, it's all about, like I said, it's the revelation, the release, and the restoration. Like, it's this 3-step, right? And I call the revelation the ultraviolet. When we bring the ultraviolet, releasing would be the violet, and then the restoration is the diamond. It's like the multivitamin L. It's like whatever you need, whatever you're missing, you bring the light in. It's very powerful. And integrating is key. So many people are just, let me just get through this and let me do all this work. But there's a time of integration, time of rest, and as Abraham has said, we're not going to get it all done in one life. We do the best we can. We do as much as we can, and we enjoy ourselves along the way. And that's the one I'm working on the most, is the enjoyment, love of self, to really allow self to not always be like helping and serving. So that's mine. But I do know that I want to say so many people now who are really waking up to something much more than their normal life. And the Angelic Summit is to say, you're right, and it's okay, you can come in, and we're here for you, and we are here to lead you and help you save some time, because we've done the heavy lifting. I think really, Alexandra, what I've learned is not everybody has the luxury to go through the angelic process and so do what they do as mothers and daughters and sisters and brothers, fathers, and all the things that they do in their life as workers and everything else. So what we've done is kind of streamline it, focus it in, and say these are the tools that we've garnered. And what I would also say, it's going to be gifting everybody, is everybody has a specific signature. Everybody has certain collections of Ash or records and codes. And so when we plug each and every person and their resonance, we're going to receive a lot of information automatically at the subtle levels, and you don't have to think your way there. You're just receiving it through the beauty and the exchange. So it's going to be exciting to see how much of the planet we can get into that vessel, into that container, and elevate. It'll be really exciting. It's exciting.
It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And so just the ins and outs. So it's free to join. That's right, isn't it? It's free to join and to tune in live. And then it will be available as a package later on as well, won't it?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is just the first initial registration to kind of get people excited and knowing about it, and they just register online and they'll stay in the loop of the news and stuff coming forward. But there's also going to be special packages so people can own the summit, and that will have a pre-sale to support the summit and its launch. There'll be a pre-sale package that'll be kind of a reduced version rate, and then there will be during the summit, right? So when people are like, oh God, I got this, because now they've witnessed it, right? There'll be another price point for that, and it'll be evergreen purchase. But what I want to say is they're going to get a special discount if they come through you, and you're going to have your link to gift them code and everything. So that's something for them to watch for sure. And the other thing I want to say, Elevate Diamond Earth is going to be a global meditation experience that everybody can be a part of as well, and everything is free for 24 hours. So all of that will be available. The meditation itself, in terms of being able to access the chat, I think will be limited to the first 100 people or so, but then after that it's broadcast world. So it's going to be a beautiful time, and I'm excited to see how it all unfolds, because of course the angels are guiding all of it. So it's just kind of like, okay, here we go. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be amazing fun. Well, just so that people know, can you just let us know what the website is, the Instagram, how people can find out about the summit online?
So it's angelicsummit.com. All of the Facebook, Instagram links are on the website, but if they want to go directly, it's Angelic Summit 2020, I believe, is most of the Facebook handles and the other handles for now. But if they just type in Angelic Summit or Angelic Summit 2020, they'll find our event on Facebook, they'll find Facebook, and then Instagram too. It'll show up. And I'm sure they can find it through you or me, either way. If they go to the Hug Angel, there's some posts, and there's many roads to get there, but yes.
Many roads. And let's share your website as well, honey, so they know how they can get hold of you. Because that's most important.
Yeah. So the hugangel.com right now is live and kicking. I'm working on my stephanielodge.com to bring forth a lot of different elements. So that's still under maintenance and getting a facelift, as we like to say. But the hugangel.com, they can reach me out right now, and eventually stephanielodge.com. And I'm the Hug Angel on social media. That's easy.
That's easy to find, yeah. I think it's Hug Angels or something on Facebook, isn't it? So
yeah, the Hug Angel is me, and then Hug Angels is my group. So Hug Angels is the space of connecting with others of like mind.
Basically, you'll find her if you just go Hug Angel. She will be there. You can't miss her. She's she's a radiant beacon of light. So just head to any of Stephanie's pages, websites, and please sign up for the summit. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. We're looking forward to seeing you guys there, connecting with you. And you know, I feel like we're lighting a flame. We're lighting a diamond flame across the planet. It feels really, really beautiful, really important. And yeah, I can't wait to see and feel the energy of it. So really exciting.
Yes, it's so exciting.
Thank you so much.
You got to make this happen, and thank you so much for persevering. And yeah, I'm so excited to be in your sphere and loving you so much.
Oh, I'm sending you so much love across the world, and I hope that we get to hug again someday soon. Hopefully I'll get over to the States at some point. And well, just so lovely to connect. But yeah, I'm so glad we actually made it happen. Third time lucky. It was meant to be, and even more powerful than I thought it was going to be. Talking to you, amazing. If I just, like, you guys watching could probably feel the energy coming off this woman. She's just I'm just sending you so much love, beautiful angel sister, and I can't wait to connect on the summit. And thank you for being here, and for those of you joining us this evening, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks so much, guys. And where can we find you, Alexandra, in case people are watching from my side? Where can they find you?
Oh yes, so I'm alexandrawenman.com, and obviously this show will come out on the Alexandra Wenman show on YouTube, so that's probably the easiest way, and Alexandra C. Wenman on Instagram. But yeah, my name is probably the best way to find me. So
Yay.
Awesome. Yay, loads of love, everyone.
Thank you, love. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey. Oh my gosh, you're upside down. What is going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, but why do I keep being upside down and you keep being sideways?
Oops. Are we live right now?
We're recording. I don't know that I don't know how to make it go live. Can you make it go live through Facebook?
You should be able to.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Well, here we are.
Okay, okay, we're here. If people want to join, I've shared the link so they could come on. Otherwise, we'll just share.
No.
We'll just share the video.
Figure it out. This is so awesome. We're
oh my
just
God.
like,
I love you. We're just learning technical stuff. Oh God. Now I don't know what I'm doing. Now I can't get you back. Oh my God. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. I love you, Stephanie.